Cooking videos are probably the hardest videos I have to do. So let's talk about what I got going here. I got 3 or 4 garlic cloves, and I didn't chop them up, I just threw them in there. And I got 1 big old onion and some olive oil. And what we're going to do with this guy is we're going to cover it. I'm going to let it brown. Okay, we got this on like medium high. 4 cloves of garlic, 1 big onion. Next we have cabbage. And what I did, oops, sorry about that. I told you I'm not good at this. I cored the cabbage, stuck it core side down in the hot boiling water, lowered it down, and just let the leaves start pulling off. And I did have to do some trimming on the bottom core again during the cooking. And this is just the extra cabbage, which I'm going to eat with butter and salt later. And those are my cabbage leaves that I'm going to roll and stuff. But first, I want to cook down till it's nice and transparent my onions and garlic. When the garlic is soft enough, I'll just squish it. And that'll be included. And then I'm going to brown my meat. So, yeah, we just gotta wait for this to happen. This is what I hate about cooking videos. I could lose my video, and I'm not very good at figuring out how to splice the two together. I know I've been instructed, but I still am just a little iffy on it. So let's see if we can hold this for a while. I don't know. We'll try. Okay, so it's more than transparent. It's quite browned, and that's okay because in my mind, that's just flavor. And I'm trying to get this last one cooked enough to smash, because I smashed the others, but this was a biggie. Biggie, biggie. Biggie, 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 biggie. Okay, so I'm going to take these onions and put them in a separate container. Then I'm going to get my turkey meat ground up. And browned up, yes. Not ground up, browned up in the pan. Okay, now I'm cooking some rice. I brought water and rice to a boil, and you just have to follow your, what do you call it? Your directions on your rice bag. You can use a white rice, brown rice, whatever you want. That doesn't look right. It looks like I didn't put enough water in it, or it all boiled down. Well, I'm going to cover it now, and it's on low, and we're going to let that simmer until it's rice. Meanwhile, we've got the ground turkey, which does not break up the way beef does, and I had spent a lot of time crunching it. So we got that. We're going to mix it with the rice, with the onions. We're going to make some sauce, and I think what I'm going to do is use my leftover tomato juice that I used for my beefaroni, and make my broth for, I got to get the extra cabbage and water out of there. I put some cabbage water aside. I might use a little more, and add my packet of chicken bouillon for flavoring. And then we're going to roll up those cabbage leaves, put them in the big pot with water, and then and broth, and then cook them thoroughly through, because these edges close to the core, they're still too firm. So boiling the or simmering the cabbage leaves all rolled up is going to be very important in the next steps. Right. Okay, so what's next? I still have that. I put a little bit of tomato sauce in there, some Italian seasoning, and here I have cabbage water, a package of chicken bouillon, herbs, which included Italian seasoning, bay leaf, nature seasoning, and Mrs. Dash garlic. So that's what's in here, and I'm going to bring this to the boil. And then next is I need to take, now this didn't absorb all the water like it should have, but I do know that this is going into the cabbage leaves and into broth, so we should be good. Let's take about 1.5 to 2 cups almost of the rice, and as you can see, it's kind of wet on the bottom because it didn't, but it will absorb broth from here. So that's what we want to do. And now I'm going to mix this up and start rolling those cabbage leaves. And once this has boiled nicely and, you know, incorporates itself, I get some olive oil in here too. You can do anything you want in here. You could add onions and garlic. I just don't. I'm just done. I'm tired. My back hurts, and all the onion and garlic, the tomato seasoning, it's all in here, in there. I think we're going to be good. I am not one who goes by cookbooks or recipes. I just throw it together. I know it tastes good together. And garlic and onion, you can never lose. Olive oil, you can never lose. Tomato base, I love it. Add a little chicken broth, it gives you flavor. Add seasonings to give you interest. And there you have it. So here's my stuffing mix. Now, you know, ground turkey is kind of like having chicken pieces in your stuffing, but what are you going to do? That's starting to boil, and I don't worry about crossing the rice spoon with the broth spoon because it's all going to go in the same place, right? I'm going to lower this down to medium now. I'm going to start stuffing those. You just throw some stuffing in the middle, roll them up to the best of your ability, plop them in the broth. And that's pretty much long and short. I'm going to let that cool down a little bit. I might even turn it down to number 4 to keep it from, you know, getting too crazy and breaking these up when I have them all rolled up. So let's do a couple of those. So now my pot is full. All of the cabbage rolls are on the bottom, and I had a couple of peppers that were kind of losing their happiness. And so I cleaned them up, I salted them and let them sit for hours. Then I rinsed them thoroughly, stuffed them, and they should cook as well. I did not parboil these, so they might be a little harder than everything else, but I got it down to a 3 now. I'm going to put a lid on it, and I'm going to let it sit and cook for at least 40 minutes. So I'll put my timer on for that. And then when that's done, I'm going to be able to extract some of the juice and make my egg lemon and show you how I do that. There, trying hard not to turn anything off so that you can see what's going on. So I'm going to make, yeah, I just checked on my pot of stuffed peppers and cabbage rolls. And the peppers are nice and tender when pricked with a fork. So I've shut it all down, and I'm just going to let this sit for a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to take my eggs, and what we want to do, which isn't easy, guys, is we want to take out the white. Because even though, now not all Greeks do it this way. Some Greeks, and I think most Greeks, or in Greek cookbooks, they, the white is really sticking to this yolk. Oh, good. I got it. I got it. I want to show you these yolks. This is the difference between a Walmart egg and a $7 a carton egg. It's unfortunate, but you definitely get a higher quality yolk that is bright orange and probably full of vitamin D because of it. So, yeah, so I'm just getting the whites into one bowl, because that's the bowl I'm going to, come on, my mother used to take the blubbery part out of the egg white, and I learned in home ec that that's the vitamin A. You don't want to do that. And she'd say, no, it's disgusting. I don't want it in my eggs. And I'm like, okay. That's nutrition for your poor ailing heart, but, you know, something she learned and something she did. So, there you have it. I'm going to beat these egg whites nicely and get them to peak. And I'm not going to make you listen to this because it's so loud. Where's the thingy? Now, I have beaten the heck out of these whites so that they're really, really thick. Why? Because now, you can use as many eggs as you want. I'm only using 2 because they're so darn expensive, and I only had this much lemon juice, which is a good amount, you know. But that's all I had. Now I'm going to throw my yolks in because I'm not going to use them for anything else, and I'm not going to waste them. They're too expensive. And I like the buttery color. Next, I'm going to add my lemon juice in and beat that in. Now this is making your egg whites more liquidy. The next thing I have to do, and this is the hard part, you have to put hot broth into this while you're beating it. I know, but that's just the way it goes, okay? So let's grab a ladle. It's how you temper your fluff, your egg fluff. The lemon helps to do that. You don't want to fry the egg. You don't want it to scramble, and it's always difficult when you're trying not to. Okay, I need to get the broth out of this. So I think my best, oh man, what is my best bet? I think my best bet is I'm going to take the top layer out of this. Let me show you what we're looking at. I'm going to get this, the peppers. I need to get some stuff out of the way so I can get to that broth a lot better than what I'm doing. Let me see if you can see this. Oh, what to put it in? I guess another container. It's my best bet. So I'm going to lift this out of there. Just a piece of cabbage that I stuck on the top because I had the extra. And gingerly. I don't know if I like having poultry stuffing rather than beef stuffing, but I'm gonna have to live with it, guys. It's kind of what happened. It's all I had in the freezer, you know. Ow. Oops. Okay, that one's gonna be a pick and sort pepper because it kind of fell on its side. Okay, oh, this is nice. Now this gives me a nice big thing of broth to work with. I'll just like tip it, grab it with the ladle, and while I pour the hot liquid into the eggy mixture, I will beat it. Beat it. Just beat it. Right. Here we go. I wish this beater could go lower, but it doesn't. Now, I'm not going to put too much in. All I'm trying to do is bring the temperature of the eggs up. And it's nice and warm. Now I'm going to stop beating, and it looks like some of it scrambled a little. Maybe I didn't wait long enough for the broth to cool down, but the temperature's off on this now, but it's very, very hot. And generally what you do is you stir this into the broth, but you usually do it with just broth, and I have a lot of other stuff in here, the rolled cabbage leaves, so I think what I'll do is pour it in and shift it around. I can't stir it because of the, I suppose I could drain the broth, but then I'm going to have all my rolled cabbage leaves tossing around and becoming unstuffed. I also could take it all out and put it in a plate. And perhaps, should I do that? Nah. Let's just throw it in there and hope for the best. Just like that. And then what my grandmother always did is she put a clean dish towel over it, like a cheesecloth, and covered it and let it cook, you know, temper. Oh, like a big old drop on the stove. I'm telling you guys, my kitchen is getting messy again after all that brilliant work of mine. Okay, I'm not gonna mix it in with the broth. I just want it to temper from the heat. And maybe just put it on low, just so that that egg cooks. You don't want raw egg, of course. I can show you when I'm ready to eat it what the finished product looks like. Okay, I had it on low. We did about 5 minutes. The interior kind of looks like this, because I want all that foamy and fluffiness to stay intact. So now I'm going to use a couple of very large spoons. Where's my big spoon? I don't see it. It's in the sink. Oops. I'm going to, and this is going to be messy because I'm trying to do this and film it at the same time, and never the twain shall meet, but yeah, we'll do our best, right? I'm going to take one of these peppers, not the tipped over one. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to try to dig out some of the cabbage leaves because I can't see a dang thing. And ellie up like so. And I'm going to take my ladle and get a hold of some of this broth and pour it in the dish. Now you can make this more watery, but I want to have it almost like hollandaise. Avgo lemon is kind of, and see how it incorporates together. That will happen later as I keep using it. So it probably doesn't look real appetizing to you, but I gotta tell you, it's absolutely fantastic. If you want to bypass all that beating eggs and lemon, hollandaise works just as well, in my humble opinion. Well, that's my dinner, and I'm sticking to it. If you mix this